Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome back to Carlet Brook. Let's see what's been going on and why it's been so long since the last update. So, Happy New Year to everybody first of all. It's 2020. The last update was actually March 2019. Intention was to have more regular updates, but with one thing and another, 2019 was a crazy busy year. But the other thing that really took over was, as you can see just behind me here, and I mentioned on the last update in March, was to design the Mimic control panel for the lower storage level. This time I wanted all the points to be motorized. I wanted the panel to actually have LED so that you could see when sections were available. And I underestimated the amount of effort and time that it would take to design this, to get the final layout, how it would graphically look, then transpose that and create the control panel, which is behind me. Getting the vinyls printed, building everything out, dewiring two previous control panels that I'd had from previous layouts, and basically finding the time with all of that, as I'm sure everybody else has the challenge. When you have a family and there's commitments, etc., you can't just disappear all the time. But being completely honest with myself, I need to spend time to actually get things right in my own mind before I embark on starting something. And if I can't see it being how I want it, then I tend not to start it. Also, I spent a lot of 2019 watching, when I could, a lot of great YouTube channels, which are totally inspirational, but also give a lot of great tips on how to make channels, content, things you should be doing, experiences. And one of my favorite is Chadwick, who I just love his approach, his honesty. He keeps in his outtakes. When he makes mistakes, he doesn't cover that up. It's just honest YouTube. It's what I do. I make mistakes, don't we all? I get things wrong. But the thing is trying to research and gain from people first of all, and then share that information. And I think Charlie does an absolutely fantastic job at doing that. There are a ton of other YouTube channels that I like watching. Dean Park, Everard Junction, New Junction, Cottesmore, to name but a few, Barnabas Junction, etc. The list goes on and on. But also during this year, I ended up joining the MRY CG group. Here's my mug with Carlet Brook on it. I'm number 37 on the actual group, which is great. 37 happens to be the house number where I was initially born and first got into model railwaying in my parents' loft. Well, actually on the carpet first of all, as most of we did, and that's just been great as well. So much has happened during 2019, but with the onslaught of autumn, etc., been able to find a lot of time to come in and progress here on this level to a point where a lot of the wiring is now complete. The control panel behind is ready. I'm going to take you through some of that in a bit on this update to show you what's gone on. And we're on the brink really of being able to get this completed within a few weeks, I hope. Then doing the test running on these levels and being able to then embark on the upper level, which I know from previous comments on the other updates I've done, some of you are very interested to see how I'm going to achieve that, supporting it, etc. It is ambitious. I won't disagree with that at all, but I do honestly believe that we'll overcome any of the challenges that see doing that and actually be able to get things running. But as of yet on Carlick Brook, they've actually not had a train circumvent the whole of the layout, partly due to the design of it, because it is fiddle yards. It's due to receive and send out trains to the upper level, but there are a couple of tracks, and I hope to be able to get at least something running and showing up in the not too distant future. One of my best acquisitions during 2019, which was pretty unexpected, was an Class 47 driver's seat, which I am sitting on at this point in time. I have to say it's the most comfiest seat I've ever had, and it just works really well here in the with the layout, etc. So that was unexpected, but what a great acquisition that was for the layout. So if we take a look at the control panel from the front, this has been created as a piece of hardboard, white hardboard, just from local DIY. I managed to find it in Wicks in the end. They do smaller pieces, so rather than buying a huge couple of meters sort of rectangular piece, got a smaller piece for this. Then the edging has been done with just, again, some framing stuff that can be got from DIY. But the key part here, just looking at this, two main parts. The top part here with these two mimic schematics actually have the one coming out, a few coming out, LEDs on here, which are wired through to the actual panel below. What I decided was, on previous control boards that I've done, I've actually incorporated these switches, sort of as a lot of people do in here, but it makes it huge. This is big enough as it is, and I didn't want to do that this time. So hence, with the notation, all of the points have got a P, they're in red, P3, P4, P5, and then when we look down here you can see P3, P4, P5. The track sections, AD1, AD2 represented on here, and we've got those here, and two controllers will be here, controller 1 and controller 2. They are gauge master controllers, which you'll see later. But basically, this is how I came up with it. And as I said, I spent an awful lot of time coming up with this. I've not actually done a control panel with LEDs before, so this was going to be new for me. Getting these printed, managed to find somewhere online that just prints these out on A4, sticky back. That was pretty easy to do, just uploading. The top two were done in Microsoft PowerPoint. The bottom one was done in Microsoft Excel. Obviously, there's lots of other things that can be used, tools, etc. on the PC to do that. But this is what's worked for myself, and was pretty pleased with it. So that's the nice, pretty side. What does the other side look like? So this is the reverse of the board. The piece of hardboard, as I said, was stuck then onto just a piece of plywood. A couple of holes within the plywood, just cut out here, here, and here for the switches. Just go through, so they're just on the hardboard. And then designing this wiring using tag strips down the sides and here, and then where the feeds would come in, and wiring out to each of either the center off switches, which are controlling the section to the track, but also they're controlling up to the actual mimic lights above as well. Or we've got the actual, just trying to find just a couple here of just the actual point control as well. So again, designing all of that, and then desoldering using existing switches, a couple of existing tag strips, need to get a few more, and then just fixing this out, wiring this up, putting these like cable runs. These are just cable fixings with the nails taken out, and just using PVA glue just to stick on so that you can actually put wiring together and try and keep it neat. I'm not an electrician by trade. I can hear you all saying, yeah, we can see that, Rob. But what I would like to do is try and keep it reasonably neat within my remit. Other people have amazing wiring, etc. But here, having this sort of like done like this, to me, I'm pleased with it. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of what I've done here. Took a lot of time, a lot of effort. Did I lose the will to live? Absolutely. Did I think this will never get finished? Totally. Did I think, oh no, not again? Absolutely, just as we all do, and get modelling block. But believing and getting it progressed, and boy, is it worth it. And it's not completely installed yet. That's got to be added onto the actual panel. And then there'll be wiring coming through, feeding all of these. But this is all documented, so that actually we'll be able to know where everything is, and there is a plan that goes with that. But have tested this with a multimeter, etc., and made sure that the lights, the top here, putting the resistors in, etc., for the LEDs, making sure that works. I'm pretty pleased with it. Something that's new for me that I've not done before, and I started on here, is using shrink wrap, as you can see here, for connections. I've never done that before. Saw lots of videos doing it, tracked some down, and are very pleased with how that works. So making sure that here, where we've got the connections between the resistors and then the wire that goes off to the relevant LEDs, that shrink wrap. And as you'll see, as I've done the point motors, using shrink wrap on there, it's something I should have done years ago, but just didn't. And this time want to do this right. It's taking a long time as a result of that, but again, pretty proud and pleased with how this progressed. So here's actually the spreadsheet. Again, I use Microsoft Excel to do the mapping here. This is the control panel, and what we've got here is, here's tag strip 1, 2 and 3. Some slight color coding going on here, the left hand side, the right hand side. And if we actually come across, this is tag strip 1 just here, this is tag strip 2 just here, and we can see here that these feeds, these red wires here, these relate to actually from the panel. So coded those down here. These relate to those sections that were actually on the schematic above, and then goes to a distribution panel here, and again showing here what tag strip and what number on that panel that goes to. These wires have got to be connected up when in situ, but can see here where we've got spare, and now they tend to be marked here as I just color code them where there's spares that aren't being used, etc. So this keeps me sane, and able to understand the wiring, which hopefully once in situ, and when, because everybody gets issues, well I do anyway, they'll be able to track down where those electrical faults are. So from a front view, just to finish off here, everything relates to the top here, where we've got here arrivals, departures, try to look to color code. Here trying to use yellow to indicate when we've got a new link through. So one of the departure lines will have 4 sections, hold 4 trains, and hence that indicates on here just to give some idea of where things go. It's going to take some getting used to. Doing testing already without having this available, those diagrams do become invaluable to actually doing that, because it seems logical at the time when I designed it, but obviously until you start using it and getting familiar with it, that can be challenging. So this concludes the update from Carlet Brook. Again, apologies that it's been since March last year until now, January 2020 for this one. But hopefully what I've shown you is that quite a lot of work has gone on, as well as busy times with family, etc. There is a Facebook page, Carlet Brook, which will have updates, etc. with regards to what's happening with the layout. So that's available as well as the YouTube channel. Please follow, please like, please subscribe, etc. To the channel and share. It's been really good having all of you on board for this update. Lots coming along. Just want to get on now and finish these remaining points, and then can do some running session just to check the track, which will be great. Also have acquired quite a few stock boxes, Wally stock boxes from Model Mechas, that I will be using to keep trains in. I think that's going to be more accessible than big storage boxes that I currently have, and then can actually put a train nail hold up to 10 items such as engines or coaches per box, or you can actually have 20 if it's wagons, etc. And then that allows me to be able to easily access rakes of trains, etc. as we go forward. The layout won't hold them all, that's for sure. So there's some work to do there, some of the boxes still to build, etc. and go from there. But anyway, thanks very much. As I say, please stay safe. Have a great new year, 2020, whatever you're up to, modelling or otherwise. And I'll leave you now with just a couple of running trains, some of them existing, but a couple of new ones as well. Thanks very much, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.